Crime Fighters, the searchlight on crime and criminality.
Apart from the agric aspect that goes on here, we have other skills like the bricks you see on ground here, all the buildings, the stabilized mud bricks, they are all produced in this center. We have the computer center where youths are trained on information technology. We have the fabrication unit where small machine tools are also fabricated. I suppose you went to our soya mill machine. We now produce our own soya cake here. And we have our own soya, we produce our soya oil too, which is very nutritious for living. So at the end of the training, you'll find that it's now enable people to put food on their tables in a cheaper way. We produce most of these things using locally available resources. You find that some of the pillow teak on ground were made of bamboo. So for the grassroots farmers, it's ideal. And like in the area of snail rearing, a lot of people are into it from this center. We've trained more than 400 youths. Right now on ground, we have about 150 youths from all over the states selected. They are now undergoing a 2-month training, and they are being sponsored by the Delta State government. You see what I mean when I say the governor is really doing a good job? They are sponsored by the Delta State government. They are here on ground. They will graduate in 2 weeks' time. And when they go out, they are going to become entrepreneurs. They are going to go into their, and they're not, the state government is not just training them. It's going to train them and empower them. So at the end of the day, they'll be empowered and they will start their own small businesses that will now lead to the employment of other youths. So the unemployment issue will be reduced drastically. They will create wealth for themselves. They will become more responsible. And like I told you earlier on, the level of discipline is quite high. And if they live here with the discipline they are receiving right now on ground, and the power of initiative that they are gaining, the sense of responsibility we are, making them to imbibe, to actually go a long way to assist trainees.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah. You said this place is self-sustaining.
Yes.
So could you let us into how you go about that?
Self-sustaining in the sense that government does not give Songhai Center Amukpe subvention, monthly subvention that, we depend on government. No. We produce our products and sell them to the public, introduce them to the public. And by so doing, we sustain the center. And people who come in for training pay a token for their training. The tuition, accommodation, we have accommodation for all forms of training, executive trainees, regular trainees. By so doing, the money that comes in is turned around. You pay your salaries, you sustain the center, you sustain the trainees, you sustain the youths on ground. So that's where it is self-sustaining. There is not going to be any issue of an abandoned project because they are working for themselves. You know, when you work for yourself, you are more dedicated. So they are more dedicated, they are committed, they know that at the end of the day, their salary will come in from there for them to put their own food on their tables.
So if I were to come in on my own to undergo a training,
yes,
say for fishery, piggery, or any of those, what would it cost me?
For a trainee that wants to go through the mill, because when you come in for training, you don't just go into your area of specialty. We make sure you go through the mill, then you now specialize in where your interest lies. It will cost you 130,000 naira only, because that takes care of your accommodation, takes care of your tuition, takes care of your feeding. This is quite minimal. We are starting from there, because the prayer is that we should cut across the sub-regions.
You said you started operations fully in 2003.
March 2000. It was commissioned in March 2003.
Is it possible to recollect how many people have passed through this place?
Like I told you,
if there's any success story, somebody that you could pick up, say, okay, this person passed through this place and now he's a success, he's an entrepreneur, he's an employer of labor, he's doing well for him.
We have a few on that. We have one particularly who resides in Ogara. I went there a few days ago to look into his project, because when we train, we don't just train and throw back to the streets. There is this networking of communication between your trainees that have left and SONGHAI. We go in and out, they come in to tell us their problems. We visited one John Akpora, he's in Ogara there. But the problem he is facing right now, because he was self-sponsored, is finance. He wants an expansion. He wants to expand his layers unit, because when we got there, we found that he had so much beds in very small space. And we told him, by virtue of your training in SONGHAI, you should have known that this space is too small. But you know the Nigerian attitude. They want so much out of little. So he said, yes, he is aware by his training, but what he is looking for now is money to expand. That's all his problem. If not, to an extent, I would say it was a success story, because the beds are doing very well. They are laying a good percentage of about 35% of the total beds he has on ground. And the sales is good, because people are, you are in a queue to clear the eggs he's getting from the beds. In Ogara, right there.
On a final note, I would want you to assess the administration of His Excellency Chief James Onanefe. 6.5 years in power. Would you say he's justified his position, justified the huge resources that comes from federal allocation, and the 13% oil derivative and all that?
If I'm to justify that, my dear, words would not be enough. Because his goodwill and development cuts across the state. There is no local government that would come out to say categorically that they have not enjoyed the dividend of democracy by Ibori's administration. He has actually, developed a lot. He has done a lot in this state by way of development. Like areas in the riverine area where you have to canoe. Today we have bridges. So he has built bridges across the hearts of men and physically on ground. That is the truth. In his 6 years of administration, if we have another governor that will do that, I think the whole state will be turned around. But for now, we even want him to come again. So that he could do what he has been doing or what he's doing right now. And as a matter of fact, I'm not blowing his trumpet. If looking at SONGHAI alone, when these military boys came in here last week, they were shocked at what they found on ground in SONGHAI, because they kept on asking, Madam, are you sure this is by this administration, or is federal inclined or what? I said, no. It's not a federal project. It's a Delta State conceived and born project. There is no collaborator or collaboration from anybody. It was conceived by Delta State government and implemented and constructed and completed and commissioned. And today, the purpose of which it is established is going on. That is the training and retraining, reorientation of youths to make them change their ways of thinking, redirect their mindset, their psyche, to make them really believe in themselves, that they can make it after the training, that they don't have to depend on white-collar jobs and whatever, oil companies, that they can go out there and establish a business of their own.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, madam, let me ask this, please. Now, concerning prices, fluctuation in the country, now, how were you able to maintain a price that is acceptable by the public?
In terms of the training fees?
Yes, now in terms of training fees, in terms of selling of the products to make money and things like that.
In the issue of SONGHAI Delta, as a matter of fact, it's not a commercial center. But because it has to be sustained, that's why that came into being. If not, it's purely a training ground, a research center, consultancy services are rendered. So we are not really looking at the inflation per se. We are trying to make sure that people are trained. So we make a lot of sacrifices. We are not looking at inflation around. We make a lot of, that is, we are subsidizing just to make sure that people are attracted. I would say SONGHAI is a brand. When you like it, you will take it. You don't look at the costs. But nevertheless, that is not to say inflation is not affecting, because if you look at the feed formulation today, the prices of the ingredients for feed, they are fluctuating just on and off. The prices of maize, prices of soya bean, prices of all the feed ingredients, fish meal, the fluctuation is there. Sometimes it goes down, sometimes the prices go up. So we work within our limit. But the whole idea is to attract people to come and get themselves engaged meaningfully.
Madam, how are you able to manage this large expanse of land, your staff, your animals, everybody, that there's harmony up to this month?
That's a big question. But I would say, first of all, that I think God is on our side. And I'm not alone in it. After the commissioning of this project, His Excellency, again, like I said, had this board, had a board in place to, look after the policy of the center. And this board is headed by the former SSG engineer J.B. Herrero, who actually supervised the construction of this center. He is now the chairman of the board. And that is because His Excellency wants those who were really involved from construction to be part of it. So they know what it takes, what is involved, and the problems thereby, they are aware of it. So they will be able to tackle. So the issue of the harmony going on is that the team of trainees I have on ground here, who forms the management team, they are well articulated. The training they had, they really imbibed the culture of self-discipline. And it's only self-discipline that is the bottom line that has enabled us to work successfully. Not that there's a lot of money. Because some people think money is all there is. And money actually comes where it is welcomed. It stays where it is well treated. So we try to treat whatever money comes into our hands carefully, put them in the right places so they yield the right results. But the youths, today there are no more youths. They are adults, they are married, they are here, they are quartered here in the premises, proximity to be nearer to to their units, production area, so they have no excuse to slack. Today they are adults, but they are really committed. They are dedicated. They have the self-discipline we expect of them. That is why we are going on smoothly, not by our strength. And I think they pray a lot. They pray a lot that this project must stay. It must be sustained. That's the prayer. So we are praying that other states should come and emulate our governor. We can go to their states and, replicate SONGHAI so that what our governor is doing for our youths in Delta State could be done in other states for their own youths too.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much.
Appreciate you giving us this time to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
And we wish God would continue to give you the wisdom and the strength to continue.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam, please. We're walking towards this side. We're walking towards this side.
This is the telecenter where youths are trained on information technology. Because today we are in a computer world. If you are not computer literate, you have a problem. Yes, this one is for tea break and all, but we've not started operating it because we start down and we have too many.
Why is not the video? You did hear me better, please. Because you did, you don't know the name when this place gets from. You don't know the name when this place gets from outside. If you know, you know, we talk soon.